Hello everybody, Mike Welch coming to you from Churchill Downs. A little different perspective today, coming to you from the backstretch, looking over at the Twin Spires and the racetrack, racing again back on today at Churchill Downs in the start of obviously a huge week as we lead up to Derby and Oaks 2024. I'm here with the Daily Racing Form Clocker Report, brought to you by Spendthrift, the home of Kentucky Derby winner and Horse of the Year Authentic, whose first crop of 2-year-olds will hit the racetrack this year. Well, as we noted yesterday, the forecast was for rain last night, and the weather forecasters were correct. It didn't rain maybe as much as originally predicted, but enough to leave the racetrack wet this morning. There was very little activity from the general population today, but there were 3 works to report. 2 of them were Derby works. They all happened during the Derby Oaks session, and the 2 workers were the 2 Japanese contenders, T.O. Password and Forever Young. T.O. Password was the first of the 2 to go. He went in company with his stablemate, T.O. St. Dennis, who you will see in the Alley Sheba on Friday. T.O. Password broke off about a length and a half behind, but he was quickly in front on the turn. They loped the first 1/8 of a mile in 13-3. And then I thought T.O. Password was pretty good. I wasn't expecting to see him to be this strong. Watching him gallop in the morning, he really doesn't move all that smoothly. You really haven't thought a lot of him, but I thought he was good today. After that slow opening 1/8 of a mile, he really picked up the pace. He came home his final quarter in 23 seconds flat. Was best of the duo, and T.O. St. Dennis is an older, much more accomplished horse, and T.O. Password was going relatively easy for that 23 final quarter. Final clocking a minute flat, galloped out in 13-1. So a surprisingly good morning for T.O. Password. Oh, look, he's coming into the Derby with only 2 starts under his belt. He is undefeated, but boy, tough to give away that kind of experience in a 20-horse field, a race like the Kentucky Derby. But he was better than I thought today. Now, Forever Young, he's the main Japanese hopeful in here. Comes in off a victory in the UAE Derby. Had a bit of an unconventional work here last week. Went very slow early and then just was let run a little bit down the lane. He was originally scheduled to go 6 furlongs this morning. Maybe because of the wet track, they cut that back a little. He did leave the 6 furlong pole, but at a very slow pace. So we took him 5/8 of a mile, and that's what he was officially credited for at 5/8 mile work. And he was also off slow again. 27 for the opening quarter, 39 for 3/8, and he too picked it up down the lane, not quite as well or not quite as quick as T.O. Password. I had his final quarter in 23-4, finished 5/8 in 102-4, and then eased up right into the turn. I was hoping to maybe see him gallop out, do something, a little bit more, but again, maybe being cautious because of the wet track. The track started out muddy this morning, but by the time these 2 horses work, it was officially listed as good. Other than that, like I said, because of the wet conditions and the fact a lot of these horses are still working their way back from their final works over the weekend, it was a pretty quiet morning on the local front. Not a lot to report. Fierceness was out again. He doesn't wow you when he gallops in the morning. He saves that for his works and for race day. But he was out there again today along with all the Todd Pletcher fillies, and just about most of the horses were out today at one time or another, but again, taking it easy over the wet track. Now, all the Derby works are in the books. These were the last 2 today, as one might expect, as we're only 96 hours away from the race and 72 from the Oaks. So we're just going to monitor these horses now the next few mornings, see if everybody comes back out okay, and make sure nobody doesn't show up for a morning unexpectedly. And we'll have that information for you if anything like that happens. Otherwise, it's all maintenance stuff from now until Derby Day, and I know everybody, all the connections with horses and the races, can't wait for Derby Day to get here, and neither can we, and neither should you. So we have 2 more days left here, and Thursday, after we finish up for the last time, I will recap, pretty much what I've seen for both races, and don't forget too, we will have the DRF, Oaks, and Derby Clocker reports. The Oaks reports could be out this afternoon, if not early Wednesday morning, and the Derby report not too far behind. But for the best coverage in Kentucky Derby 2024, keep it right here at DRF.com.